Good morning or good afternoon, contingent on where in the nation you are. My name is Stephanie Searles, and today we're going to be looking at the dichotomy of public and private entities. I really tried to challenge myself with this assignment and deviate from what's familiar to me, which is my agency and industry, and learn more about other facets of government. Doing this while identifying the similarities and differences between private and public entities, as well as why it matters. In an effort to deviate from what's familiar to me, I chose to learn about the Administration for Children and Families, and considering that's such a mouthful, we're just going to call that ACF for now, which is a government agency under the Department of Health and Human Services, while the private entity I chose is Casey Family Programs. Casey Family Programs is a private operating foundation, and their mission is fostering health and well-being through the provision of federal resources. That includes partnerships and even potentially leadership for the compassionate. Now, focus on that term, compassionate. I think it's a key word in this conversation. They also, focus on the efficient delivery of human services. Casey Family Programs is focused on helping tribes, counties, and states adopt efficient child welfare practices by supporting child welfare systems. This is done in an effort to create strong families and protect children. Its mission is to provide long-term foster care for children who are less likely to reunite with their birth families. One of the similarities I found between ACF and Casey Family Programs is their organizational structures. These structures are focused on the division of labor amongst its employees. This structure also helps in coordinating different tasks for accomplishment of their goals and missions. Both ACF and Casey Family Programs organizational structures follow the Weberian bureaucracy, such as formalized procedures and rules, the hierarchy of authority, as well as the division of labor. Now, based on Taylor's division of work principle, work which was initially done by workmen alone, it tends to be divided into different sections, with one of the sections handed over to management. This principle is evident in both ACF and Casey Family Programs, where managerial activities are divided amongst different managerial positions to ensure efficiency. In looking at the differences, factors such as the external political and social influences jump right out at me as often, this differentiates government agencies from private organizations. In addition to the differing flexibilities between the two organizations, there is also a difference in the varying attitudes towards serving public interest. Belief in rationality, constitutional and legal restrictions, social purposes, and potentially even external environmental factors. I know I said we wouldn't talk about my agency, but one of the biggest differences I've seen between us and our private vendors is our focus on our internal core values, which starts with safety and then, customer service or service is next. While 9 times out of 10, they're focused on the bottom line. I have found that through both research and experience, managers in private organizations do not have the attitude of serving public interest. While ACF and Casey Family Programs share similar missions, ACF's activities have to align with the interest of the members of the public since it's a government agency. And it also uses public funds to execute its mandate, while Casey Family Programs activities don't necessarily have to focus on the interest of the public, but mainly their own organizational goals. Reflecting back on my internal processes just one last time, with every decision I make in my day-to-day activities, I have to try to ask myself or remind myself of the associated impact of any decision made, as I have the responsibility of being a good steward of taxpayers' dollars. And that's a huge responsibility. And lastly, does it matter? It does. It's important to understand the similarities and differences between government agencies and private organizations as far as public administration, or especially as public administration is concerned. Such an understanding can help a public administrator to develop appropriate measures and then use these measures and approaches in managing a governmental agency or a private organization by taking into consideration the dynamics within these specific organizations. Thank you.